So, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of F1 2018 Career Mode. We're back for Season 2, although we will not be doing a lot here. Maurizio Arrivabene, he was sacked today by the team. I've forgotten the name of the bloke who's taken over. He's another Italian. He was the technical advisor. That's basically the bloke who would be Carl in this Career Mode, I think. In real life has taken over as team principal. We've negotiated a pretty poor contract, so we'll try and change that when we get to the fourth round, because of course you can't change it in between. I don't know why, but we are the third fastest side, but we have had an engine. Our powertrain is one of the weakest, and Renault have made a big stride, so they are striding away from the mid-seat, and then you got that Sauber, Haas, Force, India. Here's a closer look. So Mercedes are in front. Red Bull have closed the gap to Mercedes. Ferrari have been left behind a bit, with Renault closing a big gap to Ferrari, with Haas, Alfa Romeo, Force India, then McLaren and Williams together. And then down at the bottom, well, it wouldn't be them without the Honda engine. Toro Rosso are the slowest side, but whether or not they will make upgrades, we'll have to wait and see. Yes, here's the pecking order: Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Renault, Sauber, Haas, Force India, Williams, McLaren, Toro Rosso. Now we've left Sauber. Sauber are the fifth fastest team. Can they make any strides towards Renault? We did leave them in good health, so we'll just have to see if Leclerc can be a nuisance towards us now we are at Ferrari. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see how long it can take to catch Red Bull and
Welcome
Mercedes.
to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. Looking at this field today, Ant, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the harder of the available compounds and save some of the grippy tyres for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that. And even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
Since qualifying we go, qualifying was back on the channel after an absence of about a year or so, but we're going to go with the 3-shot qualifying rather than the short qualifying we've been up for now, so there'll be quali 1, 2 and 3. This is really didn't do much in quali 1. Vettel was only slightly slower, so he's gone off as super sauce, but this was on my second lap. We're coming up to Sergio Sirotkin in the Williams. Williams being quite slow. We go down the inside, and I think he tried to turn in on us because we do think there is actually a yellow flag. Ricardo, the local boy, goes through. And that's unfortunate. The end of Q1, we only did one run and we just made it through. Vettel ahead of us on the super sauce, but I believe he went for another run. But we were a 10th through. Hamilton and the two Renaults, as I said, Renault, well, they've definitely shown their pace now into Q1. Into Q2 now, thought we'd go for a set of super softs just to see if we can get that extra start on the better tyre in the race. First, that was a bit of a dud. It was a 24-2, and we did actually, unfortunately, couldn't improve. Dropped down to 15th place, and we had to settle for another set of ultra softs. We do have, of course, 2 sets available now for Q3 to attack for pole, and let's just see. I think it's P6 we've got in this. Yes, P6 for Q2. So those will be the tyres we start on. So yes, Vettel up in P4, so we are closing the gap to Vettel. Hulkenberg, P2. Sainz, though, only P12, so Hulkenberg, Renault definitely got some pace, but whether or not, Williams, good to see them in Q2, and Alonso as well. They're doing well to be in P2. But it is time for the Q3. So into Q3 we go. Going out early of all session, we've got Mercedes up ahead of us, but he will give us a very distant tow, but we won't really do much for our lap time. We're going to go down to this middle sector, which down into the car park, which they got the car park, run a bit wide there, lose a bit of time, never want to go right there. But we then make it up for that corner by not running on any of the curves. Never run on any of the curves, cut the corner here, you can run right there, but you lose a little bit of time up now into the swooping of fast left-right hand chicanes, interrupted by a couple of slow corners. And we are going fast on Ricardo, 4 tenths up on the Australian, which is actually very good news to see. Using up to the DRS, up to this new DRS zone, which was pretty much pointless for the Australian Grand Prix. Into the final sector, run a bit wide there. Try not to run wide here, otherwise you'll end up in the gravel track. Down to the slowest corner on the track, 58 miles an hour. And this final corner is always fourth gear, about 115 miles an hour. Straightening well up to the line, and it is the fastest lap, 1:22.7.
That was the fastest lap.
Which was very impressive considering the fact we're only the first fastest time. Now, moving to the end of the session now, we've slipped to fourth, and I thought we could have we actually improved by not running wide in the first sector, so we've got a better first sector, and we have pole position
really well
for tomorrow.
done. That was a fantastic drive.
Oh, yes. So that was my first pole in my first race, pretty nice. Vettel down in P5, but he splits the Red Bulls. That's my first pole since Canada, season 1 of 2017, so a very long time, last year. So very nice to see us on pole for our opening race, but it is now time for the race.
Good
After
day
some
today.
interview
Tell us about it
questions.
from your perspective.
Let's just see what
How are you finding things at your new team? Are you settling in?
definitely much happy. I said I'm much
Looks like you
happier
had a
here, and
great
Ferrari
qualifying
decrease.
section. It must be
Why
a
would that
relief being that
decrease
far up
the
the
rate?
grid.
Yes, well, the car was good.
Appreciate your time.
That's it. 2 questions. I mean, you could have saved them for afterwards. Anyway, we have enough R&D points now to upgrade the engine part, and that's a major upgrade. So that's gonna cause Renault been upgrading their engine quite. They're the second fastest engine only to Mercedes. And of course, looking at the Sashi side, we are second fast behind for Red Bull. We are lagging in the aero, so we'll need to do some aero. They've only ever done 1 aero upgrades and 2 Sashi upgrades, but I want to focus on the engine. That's the poorest part of the grid.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, and who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. The Professor lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Perez, Magnussen and Esteban Ocon, Leclerc, Sainz, Romain Grosjean and Stroll, Alonso, Ericsson, Sergei Sirotkin and Brendan Hartley. Gasly and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
What a great way to start the season. Pole position. Now let's take the win.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Today's strategy is a one-stop going from the ultra-soft to the softs. So we'll have to wait and see how that strategy pans out, whether we can stay ahead. But first of all, we've got to get off the lights. 4, 5 red lights. Long hold and the Ferrari career is underway, and as usual it's an awful start compared to Bottas. Bottas is going to go down the inside. He's going to have the better line, and Bottas takes the lead off the Australian Grand Prix. We are now, Ricciardo and Hamilton are now going side by side. Can we get back at Bottas? No, we can't. We're too far back, and the Finn now takes the lead. And looking back now, we see that lots of people are going side by side, or teammate is getting involved with Verstappen, and Ricciardo now is getting ahead of Hamilton. Let's see what happened here. Alonso's spun, and he's round. So yes, moving to lap 7 now, and on board with Lewis Hamilton, who locks up. Hamilton locks up, and that allows Vettel and Verstappen, and it's going to allow Hülkenberg as well in the Renault to go through. So yes, not much happening in the opening stint. We kept Ricciardo at bay, and it's now time to come into the pits the end of lap 9 to move on to our one and only stop onto a set of soft tyres. I believe Max Verstappen is in with us. He is.
Exit
He is
now.
also going to soft tyres, as is Sergio Perez. So out we're going to come with this. He's going to drop us outside the top 10, but a lot of people have still got their stops to make. I believe that's going to be Sirotkin going through.
Grid strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. P15 is what we come out as, but I'm sure we can improve on that. We'll have to wait and see, but we've got Max Verstappen behind us, unfortunately, and the Dutchman is going to have a go at us down into the turn 3 chicane where there was a nasty crash of Blundell in 96. Nothing doing there, but up ahead, while we were turning off Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel has got ahead of Daniel Ricciardo as they come into the pits a lap later. So Vettel ahead of Ricciardo. Now the question is Vettel going to do the overcut on ourselves? Because Ricciardo wasn't much far behind us. If Vettel does, that means that we'll be down to 3rd place. Let's see. So Rotkin carries on. There's a whole heap of cars. I think Ricciardo, Bottas, I think that's Hamilton actually in. Bottas has already come in. And there is Vettel. He is out ahead of us. So Vettel has jumped us in the pits, which is unfortunate, but that is probably the way Ferrari wanted it to pan out, being us the second
car in
driver.
front is 1.7 seconds.
And let's see if we can catch up to Sergio Sirotkin. We've been behind him for quite some serious time now, but first of all we have Bottas, and that smoke coming out of his engine. Well, he would have been effectively the race leader, but that is Bottas is out, and this is on board with Hülkenberg. I know Hülkenberg was on the long strategy, but Hülkenberg, what's Hülkenberg going to happen? Hülkenberg and Perez, and Hülkenberg are collided, and Hülkenberg is out the race. So we're down to 18 runners now. Perez, I believe, had a puncture, but surely he shouldn't be on along. as we're going to make the move in, the only move ever to happen in the third DRS straight over Sirotkin. Sirotkin immediately having a look back out to us, but Williams is no match. We're into lap 14 now. We're on the ball with Roman Grosjean, and something's really going on. Roman Grosjean is lost drive halfway down the straights. And that was in fact the race. Vettel ran away. He was some 20 seconds ahead of us. We are going to come across the line for P2 in our first race.
Great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
In actual fact, it was quite a dull Grand Prix, to be honest, apart from those parts. So P2, Vettel won, which is annoying because he jumped us in the pits. Sainz, I said Renault have the strength to really challenge Mercedes if they made that. Williams get points as well, and does both Toro Rossos get points, despite the fact they were the slowest car on the grid, doing the one stop. So Ericsson, Stroll, Gasly, and Hartley are all down in the bottom half. I mean, I know Ericsson, of course, is in that fifth highest place, but he qualified poorly. Leclerc on a two-stop, and then Magnussen. These guys really locked out. Verstappen, after could only manage P14 in the end, so really being affected by everybody. Perez finished last of all. So yes, the standings, we're up to second place. I mean, Hamilton is down in fifth, so Vettel has the early season advantage. There's a couple of people that shouldn't really be there. Verstappen is once ahead, having a poor start. In the constructors, Ferrari have a commanding lead of 28 points. We'll take another 1-2 at the next Grand Prix, I think. Over to some questions from Claire now.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went?
Another podium. You must be getting used to it up there.
I'm disappointed that we couldn't go on for the race win, but Vettel, I think, was too strong. But nonetheless, first race, and we're looking forward to seeing winning races.
Are you missing your old team?
No.
That was an epic battle
Ferrari
today.
just
How do you
can't
think this will play out?
Well, as I get more used to the car, I think that Vettel and I will be closer.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Great. Don't know what really happened with that. I didn't remember Cool touching the wall. But there we are. We're losing the rivalry because Vettel won the race. Subsequently, R&D points are going up. That's nice. How many are we going to get? 255. So R&D goes up with everybody except for Ferrari, which are now unhappy with us.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend. Your attitude during interactions with the media has a bearing on how you're considered by each team. Some value showmanship, others sportsmanship. Matching your behavior to the team's expectations will give us a stronger position during contract negotiations.
Whatever, Claire, I really couldn't care about the interviews. And that is going to round it off. Let me know what parts I should be doing the R&D. Unfortunately, I haven't got quite enough to do a Sashi upgrade. I was going to plan to do that, but I shall try and get that done in the next race in Bahrain. There's Bahrain and then China, and that will be the end of the series. While Final Fantasy and Formula F1 eMod, which are ready to go. I've just got these 3 videos to go. So hopefully sometime next week, potentially, we could see those series hitting the channel. But that's going to be it. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see more episodes of F1 2018 out every week. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.